understand what's going on with this.
We like you.
Things could be more in my control.
They're all distractions.
I disagree.
I know you do.
Stay Sharp, episode 23. I'm Jordan Ray, and joining me is my other half, Rashad Tyler. We are the duo behind Raire Label, which produces this podcast and supports brands and businesses from strategy to implementation.
Yeah.
So you're here to go to school on our experiences or just observe. And if you like what you see, make sure you click that subscribe button and definitely hit us up if you're looking to move a project along. We're here to help.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good, my love. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little warm. I don't know if it's this crew neck I got on.
Yeah. I mean, we got symmetry in terms of like the brand, but sleeves versus no sleeves is a contrast.
I just cut the air on. It's like 50 degrees outside, but I did cut the air on so we can have it a little chilly in here.
You don't sweat crazy though.
I don't. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're rocking Honor the Gift today. Just going to shout out Honor the Gift. That's my crew neck. That's Rashad's t-shirt.
We like you.
Yeah, we like the brand. Malcolm actually has some Honor the Gift pants on. So he's behind the scenes with us right now, and we're all matching. Yeah. We should take a photo after this.
He's got post-shooting obligations, by the way.
Yeah, we should definitely take a picture after this.
Yes. But what I'm referring to is he's going to go across the street and hang out with the Pelicans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see the segue? Did you see the segue?
Yeah, I did. So how is the NBA?
Yeah.
How's the season going for you?
Yeah. I'm winning right now.
Yeah, tell me about your teams.
Now. So I mentioned it before, but I don't think it made the edit. Rocking with the Magic. They were at the time number 2, but still a solid team. Going to be a playoff team. Great.
At the time number 2, what are they now?
They're probably 4 or 6 or somewhere in there.
Okay.
I haven't looked.
Not bad.
I know they're falling. I mean, we never expected them to be a contender on the other hand. And they're just young.
Yeah.
Super young.
Yeah.
But, well, Pelicans, good team. I think they're, a contender. But Oklahoma City Thunder.
It's the home team.
You better say home team. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It's always been the home team.
Yeah. So they are, I want to say number 1, number 2, been battling for that top slot for the last week or so. But we had the good fortune of seeing a few games like we talked about. And
you got to see LeBron score 40 points against the Thunder.
Yeah.
You were super geeked about that.
I ain't gonna lie. So I'll say this, like without any hesitation, anybody who's fronting on LeBron James being the greatest player of all time, just give it another consideration. There's just never been a guy that's been that age and that physically capable.
Yeah.
So he's already one of the smartest players of all time. And you already concluded this. Then when he's actually able to execute things that only the most elite coaches can scheme up. Yeah. You just got a whole different type of player. When we were watching him, I'm like, yo, he's playing chess right now. Like he's not even playing against his defender. He's not playing just against a coverage on him. He's seeing everybody's reads. Yeah. And as a basketball nerd and people that are into this, like we should totally sideline because the dude, I promise you, he was orchestrating every move that every player was making on the entire Lakers squad for every possession.
It was almost that he was playing with puppets.
Yes.
Sort of, kind of.
Yes.
Sounds crazy to put it like that, but yeah, it was so seamless.
Yeah. And he was like, he was in that zone where he was almost in slow motion. So we could not really tell why that was until you look up and see like, oh, he had the most efficient 40-point game of his career.
Yeah. No, that was really fun to watch. So we got to see them play the Minnesota Timberwolves as well.
Yeah, we didn't see the Lakers. We saw the Thunder play.
The Thunder play the Lakers, and the Thunder play the Timberwolves.
That's right.
Yeah, we got to see both of those games. Yeah, I'm excited to figure out, the next game that we go to and look at the calendar and see who's playing who and go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else for entertainment? Watching shows. We watching some shows right now. I don't know what you watching solo.
I ain't trying to tell him myself.
Yeah, he don't tell me what he watches in his own time.
I watch all of the core like urban television programming. So what that means is if it's on Stars and produced by 50, I'm over there.
Yeah.
If it's on HBO and produced by Issa Rae, I'm into it. Right. Yeah. So I just try to like really stay closely connected with like the Black creator, great Black producer.
Sure.
Set of offerings. Because I think that our point of view is important. But if you want to stay up to date with what's going on from a slang standpoint and what's happening, you better pay attention to that. And as of this recording, like we are recording after Cat Williams blew the internet up.
Mm-hmm.
So
a few days ago,
I consider like those types of podcasts or YouTube television shows as Black content too. But what about you? What are you watching solo?
I'm really into Apple TV as far as networks are concerned. Right now, I'm making my way through a lot of the Apple TV originals. Is that what they call them on Apple TV?
Yeah.
And there's one that I've come across recently, Blackbird, that is it's like a true crime thriller drama.
Who's in this?
I know their faces, but I don't know their names.
Well, I don't want to sound like, I don't have any. There's a certain type of person that I don't recognize very well on television.
Go ahead and say it.
I don't really know white television stars very well.
Women in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
And it feels racist to say, but like, I don't.
He's like, her name got to be Jennifer.
Yeah.
Everybody's Jennifer or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's one, Jenny from the Bronx, but other than that, like Jennifer there's a couple of Black Jennifers too. But either way it goes, like if I had to guess a popular white woman on television, Jennifer's going to be the name that I'm going with.
Yeah, I definitely will do, I guess I want to say homework, but I'll check out who is in Blackbird, the series that I'm watching right now. Like I said, I know their faces, but I can't remember their names exactly. Yeah. It is Emmy Award nominated show or Emmy Award nominated actors that are in it. So I like it. I like when I find something where the genre is something that I'm super into, but also the way that the show is filmed, the way that the story is told. This is based on true events and it's really eerie. And I like to get into those psychological true crime theories. Right. You're kind of like literally following a serial killer. That's interesting to me. So yeah, that's what I'm watching. One of the shows that I'm watching. And we just started Killers of the Flower Moon on Apple TV. Super long movie. We're going to try to make it through that over the next couple days.
I can't believe
but I'm excited for
somebody tried to rent that. Like if you rented that, like you're insane. You got to buy that thing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely, I don't care if you're the best movie viewer of all time. You watch that like one sitting,
there's no way. I mean, you got to at least get up to go. It's a 3.5 movie, 3.5 hours.
Nobody's beating the pee break watching something that long. What is it like? Literally like 3 hours and 19 minutes or something?
I believe it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
Anyways.
Oh, last thing though, like Apple TV from a production standpoint is they spent more money on production than any other platform. Right?
Like
you agree with this? Yeah, you like this, right? You like the way it looks and feels with.
Yep.
So the space between entertaining Tubi from Apple TV, have you given any Tubi a run?
Not yet.
Not yet?
And I have an awareness. I have some friends that are
Like, yo.
I like Tubi.
Yeah.
And they recommend it, but I am a slow adopter to new networks in the first place. I've always been that way.
Yeah.
Even
trusted brands matter.
I don't know that it's necessarily trusted. I'm a slow adopter. So it can be even Netflix. Like even I'm trying to think of what came before Netflix. I just kind of like I mosey into things. So eventually I will certainly go down the Tubi. And when I'm on Tubi, I will be on Tubi.
Got it.
So right now, that's why I was like, I am on Apple TV right now. Like that's the first place that I go.
It's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. All right.
Yeah. Just like TV shows and movies, we don't always watch the same things. We don't always think the same ways. So we disagree on things sometimes. Maybe quite a bit.
Nor should we watch and be into the same things.
Yeah.
It would not only would that be boring, but it just wouldn't make any sense. That would mean that I'm you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I don't think that we need to be into the same things, but I'm kind of segueing into our topic is that we are not into the same things much of the time.
Yeah. Which
makes for this conversation that we're about to have and how we clash sometimes. We disagree. We have misunderstandings and misalignments.
Yeah.
And what are we doing at any given moment to work through that personally, starting with ourselves or, together and communicating through that. So
that's right.
Who would you say creates the most clash?
Creates the most
or problems?
Ooh. So here's the thing, like in the life, there's an answer. I'm going to give the answer or respond to this in the business.
Okay.
Because my role is largely to try to figure out where we're going and try to figure out like what trends are coming. Like I'm creating the very fact that I'm in that role means that I have to create problems, right? Laugh at that.
Sounds like a good cop out.
It's just true. Like if you are responsible for innovating, research development, trying to figure out what the next thing is, or at least how you're going to play ball with it, like you're going to be creating problems for everybody in the organization on a consistent basis, right? And everybody that you're working with, because you're challenging them on the things that they think, you're challenging them on the things that they've been doing, right? You are challenging where you sit compared to the marketplace and so on and so forth. So like my role oftentimes is just the agent of new challenge, new problem. And those obstacles are positive for the most part. Yeah. It is like saying this no longer is the standard. We have to raise our understanding of what quality means now that this new standard exists. So now you got to go and learn new skills. You got to learn new approaches. And that kind of thing kind of comes with the role. But
yeah,
it's definitely without a doubt because of everything I just laid out. It's me.
Yeah, you're definitely a problem starter in the way that every 15 minutes you have a new thing that needs to be done or created, or especially when it comes to the business side of what we do. And every time I look up from my desk, there's a new assignment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I barely got my hands and my mind wrapped around the previous thing that we were working on. Yeah. So it's a constant shift and almost goalpost moving like that you bring. And it's going to sound crazy, but it's going to sound like whatever it sounds like. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything, but sometimes I'm like, Rashad be moving the goalpost.
Yeah. I've really worked at trying to be more conscious about what that might feel like for the people I'm delivering it to, and making sure that there's really tight alignment with what we decide to do. Because if you don't have any connection to why we're pivoting this way or why we need to learn this new skill or write this new SOP, if you don't understand why, it's just going to feel like I'm just punching you in your back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that doesn't feel good for me either, right? I don't want to have anybody going, hey, yo, you just told me to do this right here, and now you're asking me to do that. Like, which one is it? I need to be able to break down and kind of give some context. Like, all right, for what we were intending to do, AI just released. Here's the implication across not only the world, but our particular business. And here's what we're going to have to do in order to react real time to this new change. Right. So again, that way it doesn't feel like, yo, you're just shifting stuff. It's like, no, we got to remain competitive. And in order to do that, we got to adapt new habits, new approaches that meet this new world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm surprised you answered the question in that way. I thought that because there's a world where I create more problems on the relationship that we have and maybe our life, or just the way that I thought you maybe would say me and my pettiness.
Why? Because
I could be petty, I guess, or okay. I don't know any other words to use, but petty, naggy, the expectations, or the quirky things that I have. Why is this dish over here? Or, make sure that we open the curtain in the morning. Just little things that I have placed my own rules around that I feel like they're household rules, but they're just Jordan's rules.
Yeah.
They're Jordan's ways of doing things. And I can be, just kind of agitated on, oh, this didn't get done, and cause a problem about it when it's really something that's very minor.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you acknowledging that prospect is dope. So like, right. I mean, I think those are the things that make a good partner, just desiring personal awareness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm becoming more and more and more over the years, not because I don't think necessarily because of our relationship. That's definitely something that's helped me become more personally aware, but because I just genuinely want to understand what's going on with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
And so even this morning and yesterday, I'm not having a good day. I'm not having a good day. I don't want to talk. Like, I wasn't really talking to you, but it's just, well, let me not create more problems because I don't feel too high.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I don't know if it's emotional, physical, mental, it could be a combination of a lot of different things. And that's neither here nor there because I still got to show up. Things still have to get done.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out how to give myself grace and rest, but also move through those things all at the same time. But yes, personal awareness is helping me to not be a problem creator.
Yeah. And the piece about self-judgment is probably the biggest part of it, right?
Yeah.
But I want to be the type of partner for you that is doing its own work that says, yo, if she's going through something, it's not always something that you naturally get because of either your gender or your own disposition, whatever it might be, right? So I go and look at myself for that. The other part is just knowing that there are and is a very different body that we both exist in. So if you are having a moment where your hormones are affecting how you're performing or behaving in a day, I'm aware that this could be that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't take any of it personally.
Yeah.
I can't take it personally because it ain't about me, especially if I didn't see you for 2 hours and you got an attitude.
How could it be about you?
Why would I assign? And a younger, more immature version of myself would absolutely go like, yo, like, you mad at me? It's like, no, dummy. She's got more things going on than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. As we've worked through our misunderstandings or disagreement, the clashes, I definitely have learned to not just be personally aware, but check in with myself before I'm coming to you and presenting to you, hey, I think this is a problem, or I have an issue with this. And I want to fix this or talk about this, because something that you've required me to do is to come to you with logistical rationale, data, research. Like, I feel like I have to kind of have my ducks in a row before I present to you, hey, this is like something I think that's wrong that we need to fix, whether it's, on our business side or in our relationship, that I have to just bring that to you on a silver platter so we could talk about it.
Yeah, I get that. I love that you take on a responsibility for that, but I don't want to find that I've made myself, that I've created that a super high standard for having a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a high standard for having a conversation with you. It's more a high standard for how it's going to be resolved.
Got it.
I
Yeah.
feel like I can come to you, and if something bothers me in the very moment, I could say it. And you call me snarky sometimes, I'm moving on, because there's things that are way bigger than any problem. I mean, probably 99% of the problems that we could have.
Yeah.
They're okay, cool. Move on to the next thing, find the optimism. But just when we're thinking about a plan of attack on a solution or a resolution, I feel like I have to come to you and very calculated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad thing. That's just how I am moving through the misunderstandings more smoothly.
Yeah.
For me, and it's working. I think it's working for me. Like, it's making me better at moving through that with you.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if there's anything on your end that is making you better at moving through the rockiness with me. And I don't want to say rockiness, but just the life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've experienced together enough to feel battle tested. And the thing that makes me insecure is the idea that you'll walk away, right? And I think underneath every relationship, somebody cares more about that than the other. Hopefully both care about it. And maybe both are fronting in terms of like how they actually communicate that. But I'm never like hesitant to say like, yo, I want to feel confident that you're going to be here. Right. And so the things that have happened before today give me confidence that you're going to be here tomorrow. And so when I think about any of the challenges or anything that comes our way, I'm just referring back to like, yo, she loves you. She's going to do what she's capable of to the highest extent to make sure that we're locked arms to fix whatever problem. And even if she is mad for a couple of seconds, or you're upset about something for a couple of seconds, it will resolve, and it will resolve itself as quickly as it possibly can. And there's very little you can do about that, but you can be confident that it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I'm just like leaning on all of the previous battles and a confidence that I'm cared for, that will be okay. Right. Mm. And I don't necessarily want to behave in a mind that says I got some crystal ball into the future. Right. And I don't want to create a scenario where it challenges the extent to which you will, experience or endure hardship with me. I ain't trying to find that out.
Yeah.
But if it happens, I feel confident that we'll be able to move through it. Yeah. 100%.
How we'll show up,
but how you'll show up in particular. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned a minute ago about communication. Like, I don't want to be a person that has this wall up for someone coming to me with a problem, and that's something also with just open lines of communication or availability that we've had, we've butted heads about.
Yeah.
How available that you should be for different types of things, on the business front and in our relationship, just the boundaries, I guess. I'm starting to hate using that word, but which of us is more available? Who has the open door?
To other people or to each other?
Other people. I guess start with that.
Yeah, for other people, without a doubt, I would think that would be me. I wonder how you think about it, but I'll share with you why I think this first. Yeah. I want to communicate with everybody. I think that leaving an email or a text or any of that kind of thing unread, any place of communication, I'm always trying to make sure that I acknowledge that a person had the energy to reach out to me or say something to me. So it feels like a very light lift to at least acknowledge that. On the low side, it's a like and an emoji share. On the high end, it's a thoughtful comment, right? Or a thoughtful text or email reply. On the highest level, it's a useful proposal. Even if I overextend a little bit, I feel better about me having done a little bit more work to acknowledge that we have a chance to create something together, whether it be relationship or insight or, kick off a project or conclude a project, whatever it is. I want to be the person who over communicates. And I think that's a commitment that's stuck with me from basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily know what the genesis is of it. I think that's what it is. It might be something else, right? I have to talk to a therapist and see. But at the end of the day, I feel better knowing that I've done everything I can to communicate with people.
Yeah. On the other hand, I'm a lot more guarded and skeptical around certain types of communication. Like there's so many layers, and this is very situational.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, and gender's a part of it too.
Absolutely, because when I'm walking around in the world as a woman, I'm not starting a conversation on an elevator. I'm not talking to people in the grocery aisles. I'm just not really maybe even making eye contact. Like I am aware of my surroundings, but when I am alone and a woman in this world, I'm closed off. I'm not approachable. And that's just how I've had to learn, I guess, how to be. And it's not that I want to be that way, and I can work. I'm not making it a priority for me right now to work through that, but maybe one day I'll really come back to this and, okay, how do you want to present when you're in public and you are alone, or how does that just flow for you, right? So I think, to go back and say that I'm much more guarded and even skeptical on my communication, because I also live in this alternate reality. Sometimes in my mind, I still live in the 90s when I didn't have a phone.
Got it.
When I couldn't be pinged, like you called the house phone. There's a part of me that yearns to still have that, because when I'm in person and when I'm with you, even if it's over the phone or on a call, or like if I'm in a business meeting, no distractions. Like I'm not on my phone. I'm not doing emails at the same time. I am in that meeting. I am with that friend at dinner. I am on the date with you. There's not, like, I'm not on my device. And so it's hard for me to sometimes even, and I don't have a lot of even incoming like that. And I don't see it as my job to reply to every person on the internet, especially. That's just where I'm at with that right now. And maybe I'll work through that and I'll have a light bulb come on and I'll approach that differently one day. But right now, that's just where I'm at. How can I possibly get back to every ping? I just feel so distracted, and I want the silence. I love the quiet. I love the silence. I want that. I want that to be most of my existence, is the calm, quiet, serenity, the silence. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't, and I think sometimes that might be why. Not that you're not okay with the quiet. I'm not talking about you in this way, but maybe if anybody doesn't understand where I'm coming from as far as just the openness and availability is concerned, it's not because I'm a bad person. It's because I just want, I want it to be in front of me, and I don't want to be distracted.
Right.
I don't like that.
I get that. Totally get that. I think that there are so many different psychological profiles and just like time protection tactics. Like, I'm not going to give you a meeting, which feels very far from a comment, and even further away from an email or a text you know what I mean? Like, I feel like all of those things have varying layers or levels of intimacy, but they're all, to your point, they're all distractions.
Yeah. Little bitty distractions. I'm trying to have less of those.
Totally get it. And what I've decided is the best way for me to go about it right now is to batch different parts of my day for different parts. So it's like post comment time, email reply time, but these are now like parts of the day. So I'm not into any of them all day. It's parts so that I can be available for the right thing, but not always available for a specific thing. Does this make sense how I'm saying this?
Yeah. Someone gave me the language for emails in particular. Going through your inbox was processing emails. So your inbox is not open all day. You don't have your inbox tab just open on your computer. You have a set time. Sometimes you might need to do it every day, depending on what your email inbox looks like. And there are types of businesses or people who can maybe just check their inbox 1 or 2 or 3 times a week. And you process your emails during that time. Otherwise, you have no business being in your inbox. Focus on what's important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's brilliant, actually.
Process.
I think the last layer to that is, and we prefer to use it and we build it into the businesses that we support, is automation. So when it comes to you, whatever the message is, it's already filtered. It already has a certain level of information integrity so that you're not wasting your time and energy fielding loose, short comments inside of email or text. You got to be able to push things to a certain quality standard from an information standpoint, especially if somebody is looking to find out more about your services, or they're looking to find out more about how to get on your calendar. Use automation systems to take the last mile, or oftentimes the first mile of those communications, a lot further, a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I try my best to not ask somebody when they're available. Just, hey, this time or this time, this day or this day.
Yeah.
If not, tell me what's best for you. But I try to get right to it. If it's not already automated, hey, here's a schedule, a call link, book something here and we'll be good.
That's right.
So I love that. And that also makes me think about how we prioritize our time. And sometimes we prioritize our time differently, and when we might not all the way be synced up on how we prioritize our time, which comes back to, you said this earlier, you don't have to be me, I don't have to be you.
Yeah.
And these expectations are neither here nor there. But I really try to prioritize my time with both our business and myself personally, and us as a couple just moving and designing our world. The things that I try to check off first are my routine. You know what I mean? Like my routine, the things that I need for me first, those are going to get handled first. And then right after that, prioritizing my time as far as the things that will move the needle the most, or the projects that have a upcoming due date, things that just need to be checked off. Like these things just need to be done. And then after that, okay, what am I really working on that's big, that needs to go from 0 to 100? Because those are the heaviest lifts, and that's kind of how I break down my time. But I think that yours is a bit different, how you're prioritizing your time.
Yeah, compared to you, I mean, maybe not so much, actually. I mean, it may not be the most obvious thing, but I index very highly for making sure that I can perform, but I know what my North Star is. And maybe that has a way of helping me align what should and should not happen. I mean, you know this, and I guess, most people would agree that for my role in our world, like focusing on building family would make sense. And it actually is a thing that I'm most focused on. So whatever I do should align with that. So me being very connected to what I need to place in my routine and prioritize from a health standpoint, it is about longevity. It is about being able to be there. Because if I'm not there, then what does it matter to have money or to have any of it? Like, you need to make sure that you have as much time as possible. So attacking the health is the most practical first step that anybody could take. If you care about your family and you're aware what your impact is by not possibly being there for them. Then the second thing to that is, like, have I created an ecosystem, an environment, a set of legacy tools or investments that I can pass on, or that will allow us to be protected if there is anything that affects me from a personal capability standpoint. I need to build stuff, right? And it needs to go beyond just our support services or just like Instagram posts. I need to figure out how to build real wealth, right? And so the rest of my time and my energy is connected to that. So I'm at the top of my day trying to figure out how to prime myself, or the end of my day trying to recover very specifically so that I can attend to these very high level commitments.
Yeah.
And the time that I spend with you, I want that time to be with you. Right? Other than that, no disrespect to anybody else in my world, but if you're not in my top 5, you don't get the priority. But I also would suggest that if somebody's not in your top 5, they shouldn't be getting the priority. They shouldn't be getting the same look or the same attention that your top 5 get. And who is in your top 5? Those are usually the people that are most dependent on your care, right? I won't say who they are on this thing, but they know. Those people know.
Yeah.
And I probably have like a 6, 6 or 7, but
it's giving MySpace. Right?
It's probably giving MySpace or T-Mobile back in the day.
I didn't have T-Mobile ever.
You're going to quit disrespecting T-Mobile.
I've been an AT&T girl. I think I was Sprint for a teeny bit of time, but it's giving MySpace.
I don't know why people want to make a bragging point of
service provider of cellular. Well, I think it comes down to customer service and your experience with that company. It's a brand, right?
Is AT&T is AT&T the Delta of? Because I felt like for a while Verizon was.
Well, I thought Verizon kind of came and took over the last few years. Like AT&T was the gold standard for a while. And in my opinion, Verizon has really took that role, possibly. I don't know. I'm biased towards AT&T because I've been with them just forever. But the last 3-4 years.
Is Spirit, in other words.
Sprint is now Spirit.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
It's gone. So
I know.
Is T-Mobile?
I would say if in my opinion, I would say AT&T, Verizon, and then T-Mobile. However, I'm not really into it like that. I just know who I pay for my phone bill. And I think that I've gotten so much good experience with just customer service. If I called and I had an issue with something, it was resolved right away. They were easy to get a hold of. That's a big thing. It's something that I also experienced with Chase, Chase bag. You need something, they're helpful. Whereas you can possibly say it's like your electric company.
Yeah.
They not budging.
Right.
So it's just like, why we pay you guys every month for whatever it is that we need. And, we just want to be helped sometimes when we need to.
As a marketer, it's just really fascinating that your self-service provider is a status symbol, and to the extent that it matters.
But it used to actually be a thing when you didn't have bars on your iPhone.
Yeah.
That was really, you could be on a road trip with someone and they would have no bars. And then, you're like, I got all my bars. I got AT&T.
So if somebody don't have a service, you're like, you're Boost Mobile.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cricket.
But I get it though. Cricket wireless.
It's all good. There's depending on Cricket. What you need, it's, they're there. I just want that any, cellular service. I'm just hoping that they all have good customer service.
Good point.
That would be great. Anyways, it sounds like there's a lot to organize when you're talking about how you spend your time, who's in your MySpace top 5, and how you're approaching that by a schedule, by being organized. So who is more organized out of the two of us?
I didn't see that coming. So we're going to talk about who's more organized between you and I. Because the reason I wanted to say this back in that way, like that, is because for a guy, I am top tier. For a dude, in terms of organization, no.
I am organized for a man.
Well, I just think that there are things that women might pay attention to or prioritize. And maybe it's a role thing too, but I'm more organized than 75% of women, no matter what. But I'm saying for a guy, like, I am aspirational in terms of organization.
Yeah, I believe you. I don't really have any other examples.
But compared to you, I would say I'm the lesser of the I'm less organized.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I feel like I gave you a lot of the tools that I was using and you just got better at them all.
Yeah, I definitely needed the tools when we first started our company, and I took those tools and I ran with them because there was so much going on. I didn't know what to do on any given moment, and I needed a place to log all of our ideas and so on and so forth. But I really depend heavily on a digital calendar.
Yeah.
Heavily. I block my time off for all the personal things that I want to do. I do that first. This is when I'm sleeping. Put it as a repeating event so you don't have to put it in there every day.
Yeah.
This is when I'm going to eat, so on and so forth. This is when my appointments are. And I think of my digital calendar as an accountability partner because I'm able to look back for however many weeks I've been using this, years, and say, oh, this is what I did with my time this month, this year, and there's great features on that type of tool to be able to say, this is how many hours you spent doing work on client work. This is how many hours you spent doing, it's almost like a time tracker in its own right or whatever. But really, I think of it as a bank account. You go back and you see how your time was spent. And there's no other way to do that other than, for me, a digital calendar.
I get that.
Because even if you wrote it down, which I just don't understand why, I look at all of the stuff that I have going on, all the things, all the notes that I have to do. I'm like, I can't imagine if I wrote all of that down. But that's another story for another time.
It's what I heard when you shared that particular summary of like how you, like what's motivating you there. I'm going, oh, we're operating under two very different understandings for what we should be using our time for and how we tell the story backwards for how well it was used or not. Right. So I'm going, when I'm starting the year or starting the month or even starting the week or even the day, there is something that is highest priority. And I'm going, and I'm ranking that based on its effect to our bottom line. So I'm trying to figure out what is the biggest, most audacious, hairiest, scariest monster to go and tussle with. And I have to go knock that down so that we're closer to getting the big thing taken care of. So I don't necessarily lock in and time block with the amount of specificity that you bring to it, but I'm time blocking more over 2-day, 3-day, week time frame because some of those things have a more unpredictable finish time.
I disagree.
I know you do.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of this conversation is to, okay, yeah, we approach things so differently sometimes. And that to me sounds very chaotic for me to every day if necessary, or even every week if necessary, my top priority could be different. And I think that, and I'm sort of going to ask you a question, but also tell my side of it. But I think that task switching really slows me down, and it feels like I'm left unprepared and things could be more in my control if I blocked the time for certain things. Because if I'm every few days or every week or two, even if I am changing my North Star that often, I feel like I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, when I could be more prepared to lock in on something and get it done all the way through. Otherwise, I'm just focusing on like the high level things, but I'm never working on the actual insides of the machine. So
when we talked about this earlier, I was hinting at acknowledging that there are changes or acknowledging that there was something that moved. And so before I give or share, hey, we should do this, I'm checking whether or not there is previous success for anybody in that market, testing for what we can or can't do, what is the cost and all the rest of that. So a lot of my thinking and a lot of the insights come from spending time trying to find the holes in a theory. So if it came to like very specific, repeatable task things, I probably already created an SOP or an automation or push it off of my desk.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is figure out, like I just shared with you the insights the other day. I'm going like, oh, what makes this business work and why people don't get it is this thing. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how do you, because I'm in that role, I don't know how to make people aware of the type of thinker that you need to be in order to get those insights consistently.
Yeah. Because that's your role.
Because that's the role. So I'm going like, it's actually not, we're actually not that far off. It's just that I cannot with any predictability say I'm going to get this insight by this time. I have to say, I'm going to commit this type of time to find an insight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really, we're actually very, in my opinion, very close in mind. It's just that what we're doing has predictability and non-predictability.
Yes. And I think that overall, at the end of the day, when it comes down to the bottom line, we do have a lot of similarities in our through lines.
Yes.
Our processes to get to certain places are night and day sometimes.
And our roles are not necessarily the same, but they're complementary.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. That was great. Great conversation.
I think so.
I'm interested to know if anyone out there, if anybody, in the audience or our subscribers, if you have something that you're working on with your other half, or maybe your co-founder, maybe your other half is your co-founder, definitely leave a comment. If there's something y'all just have not been able to work out, y'all just, we're going to agree to disagree. Let us know if there are things that you have got to work out.
That's right.
Y'all on the same page about now and you're proud of that. Please share that with us. And if you have any questions, ask us or comment. Let us know.
Please hit us up. We would love to. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to know more about what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, y'all. Until next time, stay sharp.